You want change. You want progress. You want to rise from the ashes of who you used to be and step into the life you say you want. Then stop talking. Stop dreaming. Stop waiting. Start putting in the hard work right now, because nothing is coming to save you. Nothing will magically shift until you do the damn work. The real work. The lonely work. The ugly, bloody, silent grind that nobody claps for. We live in a world obsessed with shortcuts. Everybody wants the secret formula, the hack, the quick win. But here's the truth. They don't exist. What does exist is a war. A war between the version of you that wants comfort and the version of you that wants greatness. Only one survives. Two. And you decide by how much work you're willing to put in when no one's watching. Pain is part of the process. You will hurt. You will bleed. You will be broken. But that's where growth begins. Not in the success, but in the struggle. Not when you're praised, but when you're alone, doubting yourself, and still choose to show up. The work you're avoiding, that's where your power is hiding. The early mornings, the cold nights, the reps, the miles, the reading, the silence. It all builds something inside you that money can't buy and comfort can't give. It builds discipline, resilience, mental armor. Nobody's born great. They are built through sacrifice, through suffering, through refusing to quit when their body and mind beg them to stop. Every single day, you don't put in the work. You hand your potential over to fear, to laziness, to weakness. You trade greatness for excuses. So don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for motivation. Start putting in the hard work. Do the work even when it sucks. That's where the edge is. That's where most people fall. And why you rise every inch. So go out and take it. One. Stioptelg. Star Marquee IG. We live in a time where people confuse talking about what they want with doing what it takes to get it. Everyone's got dreams. Everyone's got goals. They talk about what they're going to do. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to change my life. But talk is cheap and it does nothing. The world doesn't reward promises. It rewards execution until you take real action. Until your hands get dirty. Your back breaks under the weight of your effort. Your will is tested. You're just fantasizing you want to change your life. Then stop telling everyone about it. Stop updating your circle about the grind you haven't even started. Nobody cares about your plan until you back it up with sweat. Nobody's impressed with your vision board if you're still sleeping in, still avoiding the work, still wasting your time waiting for the right moment. That moment is now. You don't need more inspiration. You need more grind, because results don't come from intention. They come from action. They come from work. You've got to kill that inner voice that says later, tomorrow, or I'm tired. That voice is lying to you. It wants you weak. It wants you average. Every time you say you're going to do something and you don't follow through, you weaken yourself. You chip away at your confidence. The brain remembers when you bail on yourself. It stores that betrayal and it becomes your new identity, someone who talks but never walks. Someone who plans but never executes. Break that cycle. Earn your own respect by doing the things you say you're going to do. The work doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care about your excuses, your problems, or your schedule. The gym doesn't lift itself. The weights don't move themselves. The business idea doesn't build itself. You either show up or you don't. You either do the work or you stay broke. Mentally, physically, emotionally. The hardest truth most people avoid is that they are the problem and the solution. No one else. It's on you to stop talking and start moving. You want to stand out. You want to win. Then earn it. Let them sleep. Let them waste their breath. Let them post quotes and chase likes. You stay in the dark and do the work. You sharpen your tools in silence, because when the time comes, results will speak louder than anything you ever could. Nobody remembers the guy who almost did something. Nobody honors the talkers. They remember the warriors who bled for it, who fought through the resistance, and who earned what others only wished for. Be that warrior. Every time you take action, you strengthen your character. Every rep, every hour of study, every disciplined choice is a deposit in the bank of who you're becoming. You build momentum. You begin to shift from being someone who wants it to someone who works for it. And that difference, that's the line between success and mediocrity, between a wasted life and a fulfilled one. The world is full of people who could have. Be the one who did. Start putting in the hard work. Now, 2. Now, Everyone wants the results, but no one wants the grind. They want the body without the sweat. They want the success without the sacrifice. But here's the unfiltered truth. There are no shortcuts. Nothing worth having comes without paying the full price in blood, time, and effort. You can't cheat the process. You can't buy discipline. You can't fast track character. You can lie to the world, but you can't lie to the grind. It knows what you've done and what you've avoided. It knows when you've truly earned something and when you're just pretending. The problem is people want overnight success. They want to skip the struggle and arrive at greatness without going through hell. But greatness is forged in hell. It's earned through years of suffering that nobody sees. It's built on the days you don't want to show up, but you do anyway. On the nights you cry in silence and keep going. On the mornings your body screams no, but you answer yes. The grind doesn't care how talented you are. It doesn't care how smart you are. It only respects consistency and effort day after day, week after week, year after year. Shortcuts make you soft. They rob you of the strength that comes from the long road. The shortcut skips the pain. And when you skip the pain, you skip the power. Every obstacle, every setback, every failure along the hard path is a gift. It builds resilience, toughness, and a relentless mindset. And that mindset, that's what separates the few who rise from the many who quit. Because when you've been through the fire, you don't fear it anymore. You become it. You need to stop looking for hacks and start building habits. Stop asking for easy and start embracing hard. The hard road builds discipline, and discipline is what keeps you going when motivation dies. The shortcut ends when things get tough, but the long road teaches you how to keep marching through hell with a smile on your face and fire in your heart. You start to realize that what you build with pain is unshakable because you paid for it in full. If you somehow did find a shortcut, it would cheat you out of becoming the person you're supposed to be. The struggle is part of the transformation. Without it, you don't develop the mental calluses that protect you from the storms of life. Without it, you don't earn the right to lead, to inspire, to overcome. Everyone wants to be on top, but very few want to climb. Most look for elevators. Champions build their own stairs. So the next time you think about cutting corners, remember this: the pain you avoid becomes the weakness you carry tomorrow. There are no shortcuts. The grind is the way. And those who embrace it, who lean into the long road, become unstoppable. They don't just get results. They become the result. The walking proof that success is earned, never given. 3, 2. Comfort tea, iced tea, and why comfort is seductive. It whispers in your ear, telling you to take it easy, to rest a little longer, to skip the workout, to quit early. Comfort makes you believe that everything is okay when deep down, you know you're underachieving. It's the most dangerous drug you'll ever taste because it doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in slowly, silently, until you've wasted months, even years, living far below your potential. Comfort isn't just the absence of pain. It's the absence of growth. If you want to grow, you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. That means pushing your body when it screams to stop. It means sitting alone with your thoughts until you understand your weaknesses. It means choosing the harder road, not because it feels good, but because it builds you. Comfort zones are graves for ambition. You don't get stronger by doing what's easy. You get stronger by facing what's hard again and again until the hard becomes your new standard. The people who win in life, in war, in any field, aren't addicted to comfort. They're addicted to growth. They chase pain. They run toward pressure. They don't wait until they're ready or motivated. They get up and they go because they understand one truth: comfort destroys greatness. Every second you choose comfort, you choose to delay your potential. You choose mediocrity over mastery. You choose ease over excellence. Look around. Most people stay average because they protect their comfort at all costs. They skip the early mornings. They avoid the painful conversations. They refuse to be honest with themselves. Why? Because comfort feels safe. But safety doesn't forge warriors. Safety doesn't create legends. What creates legends is voluntary suffering. Putting yourself through discomfort on purpose so that when life hits you with real pain, you don't flinch. You've already been in the fire. Every time you run from discomfort, you weaken the muscle that's supposed to carry you through life. Your mind. You rob yourself of the chance to get stronger. But when you seek discomfort, when you force yourself to suffer daily, you start building something unbreakable inside. Grit, you sharpen your instincts. You begin to feel pride, not in what you've achieved, but in what you've endured. That's where confidence is born, not in rewards, but in surviving the struggle. If you're serious about leveling up, then stop trying to make your life more comfortable and start making yourself more capable. Don't ask for an easier path. Ask to be stronger. Don't lower the difficulty. Raise your standards. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams, the destroyer of drive. It will keep you warm, safe, and average if you let it. So stand up, step out, and lean into the hard things, because that's where your future is waiting. 4. P-A-N-S-T-H-P-H-V-L-Y. You can't avoid pain if you want to grow. It's not a glitch in the process of the process. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your trainer. It's the one force in life that strips away your weakness and exposes your real capacity. People spend their whole lives running from pain, dodging the workouts, avoiding the rejection, numbing the emotions. But the truth is, every time you escape pain, you also escape the opportunity to become stronger. Pain is the pathway to power. When you're under pressure, when your muscles are burning, when your mind is screaming to stop, that's where growth begins. That's when the transformation starts. 2, most people quit in those moments because they think pain is a sign to stop. But pain is the threshold you need to cross. It's the test. It's asking you one question: how bad do you want it? If you don't suffer, you don't evolve. You can read every book, watch every video, and repeat every affirmation. But until you suffer, you haven't earned it. The world wants to sell you ease. It markets comfort. It rewards fake happiness. But what it doesn't tell you is that real confidence, real fulfillment, real inner strength, they're all born in pain. You can't develop calloused hands without friction. You can't build a resilient mind without pressure. You can't grow a warrior's heart sitting on the couch. You need to step into the fire daily. Let it burn away the excuses. Let it melt down your limits. Let it reshape you into someone unrecognizable. Pain humbles you. It shows you what you're made of. It doesn't care about your background, your education, or your dreams. It will break you if you're weak, but it will build you if you're willing to endure. There's beauty in that process because pain doesn't lie. It exposes everything fake about you. It doesn't accept talk. It demands action. When you endure pain and keep going, you earn something no one can take from you. Self-respect. That's the currency of true strength. Stop fearing pain. Start understanding it. That ache in your legs, that fatigue in your chest, that doubt in your mind, it's proof that you're growing. It's a signal that you're pushing past yesterday's limits. Most people look for the escape button when pain hits, but the few who lean into it, who keep pushing, keep working. Those are the ones who evolve. Those are the ones who rise. The more you suffer now, the less you'll suffer later. Every second in pain is an investment in becoming who you were meant to be. So don't pray for the pain to stop. Pray for the strength to carry. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were tougher. Because on the other side of pain is pride. On the other side of pain is power. On the other side of pain is a version of you so strong, so sharp, so unstoppable that the world won't recognize who you've become. Let it mold you. Let it change you, because pain is the pathway. Walk it with purpose. So anyone can show up when it's easy. Anyone can give their best when the sun is shining, when they're well rested, when everything's going their way. But that doesn't count. That doesn't make you different. What separates the elite from the average is the ability to show up when it hurts, when your body is wrecked, when your mind is screaming to quit, when life has punched you in the face, and you still get up and do the work. That's where your edge is born. That's where your mindset becomes savage. You want to become unstoppable. Then stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel good. That feeling may never come. Grow in comfort. You grow when you're on the edge of breaking, when your knees shake, when your lungs burn, when doubt and fatigue are crawling all over your back, and you still take another step. That's where the real ones rise. Everyone else bows out. Everyone else has an excuse. But the ones who refuse to break, they become machines. They become a force that nothing can hold down. There will be days when your body's in pain, your mind is foggy, your energy is gone, and every bone in your body says, not today. Those days matter more than any other, because those days give you a choice to shrink back into the same weak habits or fight through and claim a new level of discipline. The easy days build nothing. The hard days build everything. When you show up in those moments, you prove to yourself that your emotions don't run your life. Your commitment does. You can't fake it when it hurts. You either dig deep and find something real inside you, or you fold. And when you find it, when you find that extra gear that only pain can reveal, you start building something no one else can touch. You're no longer driven by motivation. You're driven by mission. You're not chasing hype. You're chasing mastery. You stop looking for reasons to stop and you start looking for reason to keep going. That's the shift. Think about this. If you only train when you feel like it, you'll only be as strong as your mood. But when you train through pain, when you work through chaos, when you execute through exhaustion, you become something more. You build a core inside you that doesn't waver. You become the kind of person who follows through no matter what. And that's rare. That's powerful. That's deadly. That's what separates contenders from champions. Every time you show up when it hurts, you kill the weak version of yourself. You suffocate the excuses. You send a message to your body, your mind, your fear, your past. You don't run this anymore. I do. That's not just training. That's transformation. That's war. And the battlefield is your life. So show up when it hurts. That's where warriors are made. 6. Discipline over motivation is a liar. It's a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. 1 minute you're fired up and ready to take on the world. The next, you're curled up making excuses, convincing yourself that you'll start tomorrow. That's the trap most people fall into. They depend on motivation. They wait for the perfect wave of inspiration to ride into greatness. But the wave never lasts. It crashes fast. And when it's gone, they stop. They quit. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they never level up. Because they built their life on something fragile, something emotional. Discipline is different. It's ruthless. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask if you're in the mood. It just shows up. Rain or shine, sick or healthy, tired or energized. Discipline gets it done every damn time. It's the voice that says, I don't care if you're not motivated, do it anyway. You want to be great? Then stop being addicted to motivation and become married to discipline. That's what separates the unstoppable from the average. The ability to act regardless of how they feel. Most people live in a cycle of highs and lows. They start strong. They post about it. They go hard for a few days. Then the feelings fade. Life gets hard to arrange. They're sore. They lose interest and they vanish. Going again. But the disciplined ones, they don't care about excitement. They're not trying to feel good. They're chasing mastery. That's why they're still grinding when everyone else is quitting. They aren't in love with the outcome. They're in love with the process. They've trained themselves to do the hard stuff no matter what. Discipline is built in silence. It's created in the early mornings when the alarm hits at 4 a.m. and you don't hit snooze. It's in the reps nobody sees. The meals you prepare when junk food tempts you. The studying you do while everyone else is out wasting time. It's doing the work when no one is watching and there's no reward, no applause, no immediate payoff. Just you, the grind, and the standard you refuse to lower. That's what discipline is, a standard that doesn't budge. You don't need motivation to build the life you want. You need structure. You need brutal honesty with yourself because the goal isn't to feel good. The goal is to become unbreakable. The goal is to show up when it sucks, to follow through when every bone in your body says quit, to walk into the gym, the job, the battlefield of life and say, I'm here again, not because I feel like it, but because this is who I am now. I do hard things daily. Discipline is what carries you through when your emotions betray you. It becomes your backbone. And once you build it, you stop chasing motivation altogether because you've got something better. You've got a switch inside you that flips no matter what. No more hoping to feel ready. No more needing outside inspiration. Just raw internal power. The power of self-control. The power of consistency. The power of someone who's no longer asking for results. They're demanding them through action every single day.